Tell us a story, Iggy. Hetalia fanfiction. The story takes place when America and Canada were kids. One evening, Britain was sitting in his dining hall with France, Prussia, Russia, and Austria. He was sipping at his tea, discussing with them, when suddenly America and Canada walked in. Both were dressed in their pajamas and slippers with tired expressions on their faces. Startled, England quickly addressed the situation. "What are you doing up? It's past your bedtime." America crossed his arms. "I know, dude, but we can't sleep." Canada nodded in agreement, rubbing one of his eyes and tightly holding his bear in the other. "Will you please read us a bedtime story?" he asked. "Yeah, man, tell us a story, Iggy!" America shouted with much enthusiasm. England blushed lightly, a bit embarrassed. He didn't really want the others to hear him tell boys a story. "No, I think you two just need to go to bed. No story tonight. Count sheep or something," he said, shooing them away with his hand. Canada's face sunk. "Oh, come on, man," whined America. "Go to bed," Arthur growled. America sighed and walked gloomily back to his room with Canada. "Why didn't you tell them a story?" France asked when England turned around. "No, you made them all sad," Arthur grunted. He didn't want to talk about this. "I don't care, they're getting too old for stories anyway." Precious snorted. "Yeah, right, you just don't want to tell a story in front of us. To be honest, I can't blame you. You probably talk in a weird voice and do dances and stuff that makes you look like a complete idiot." "Ha ha ha!" Gilbert hooted loudly, pleased with himself, and took a swig of his beer. "What? That's preposterous. I do know such things." Britain felt his face and ears grow slightly hot. So when those things were in fact true, but he didn't dare admit them. He took another sip of his tea while Prussia pounded his fist on the table, annoying England greatly. "What's the problem with bedtime stories? They help you fall asleep better, da?" spoke Russia. France nodded in agreement. Arthur furrowed his eyebrows. The many of them there were. He really just wanted to continue their previous discussion, but they only seemed to care about silly bedtime stories. England sipped the last of his tea and got up. "Fine, I'll go tell them a story. As soon as I'm done, I want to continue our discussion." Pushing in his chair, he then made his way down the hall to America and Canada's bedroom, unaware of the few countries that had followed him. "You boys still awake?" he asked, knocking his knuckle on the doorway. Two little heads popped up in the dark. "Heck yeah! I can't sleep if someone won't tell me a story," pouted America. England sat on the edge of his bed. "Calm down, Alfred," he said, ruffling his hair. Canada climbed onto Arthur's lap, and America scooted next to him. "Are you gonna tell us a story?" Canada asked quietly. Arthur smiled. "Yes, as a matter of fact, I am. How does the story of the three little pigs sound?" Canada nodded excitedly, while America made snorting noises with his nose. "Okay. Once upon a time, there were three little pigs," began England, when suddenly France barged in the room. "You call that a story? That's so lame. You should tell them a story of a gorgeous princess trapped in a tower, waiting for her knight in shining armor to rescue her." France danced around the room as if he were a knight himself, grabbing a toy sword off the ground and swishing it around in the air. "Good lord," grumbled England. This was the last thing he wanted right now. France being an idiot. "Okay, say once upon a time there was a beautiful princess. Now Prussia barged in." "That's so lame, France! That story is stupid, and I know it because it's coming from you!" Prussia yanked the sword away from him and now whacked him upside the head with it. He turned to face America and Canada. "Now here's a story." Prussia spoke dramatically, his blood-red eyes shimmering in the darkness. "Once there was an awesome man named Gilbert," he boomed boldly. "He was so awesome that people's eyes would hurt if they looked too long at him because the awesomeness was practically shining from his body. One day— Oh my god, shut the bloody hell up, Prussia!" Arthur shouted at him, making Canada start to whimper, hiding his face behind his bear. He didn't like it when people yelled. "Oh crud, I'm sorry, Matthew." England stroked Canada's hair and tickled him to try to make him feel better. "Look, will you guys please leave? I'll be done in a few minutes. You guys aren't doing any good here." France and Prussia grumbled and persisted that they should tell their story, but England didn't want to hear it. They were just about to leave when suddenly another voice emerged from the shadows of the room. "I've got a story," it whispered. Everyone stopped cold. "Who's there?" demanded Prussia. The voice came from the doorway, but there was no light to see who it was. Once upon a time, but not too long ago, there lived a man in the forest. However, he was no ordinary man. This man had no face, all he had was a pale white head. He was very tall, some say over 7 foot, and he wore a black suit. Day in, day out, he would stalk his victims, showing up in photos to warn them he's coming. If you see him next to you, that's how you know he's coming for you. Footsteps were sounding closer and closer to the edge of the bed. Canada clung tightly to England, and America sat still, sweat dripping from his brow. Slowly, he stalks you, making you slowly going insane while waiting for him, continued the voice. When he finds you, large, long, shadowy arms rip out from the body. And then, everything went quiet. Canada was shaking like a leaf and whimpering. America's face was pale and his shirt collar was soaked in sweat. England was also a bit concerned himself. The story was a little freaky, he had to admit. He plucks you up with his arms and rips your body to shreds, letting your blood play into his face. 2 arms reached out and plucked Canada and America off the bed without effort, each boy dangling by their collar high in the air. America screamed and Canada began to cry. England rushed to the door and turned on the light. France had fled the room, and Prussia was cowering in the corner with a blanket over his head. In front of the bed stood Russia with the boys dangling from his arms. He was laughing so hard that tears were streaming down his red cheeks. "What the hell, Russia? Now they'll never go to sleep!" shouted Arthur. Russia continued to laugh his booming Russian laugh that sounded slightly wicked. America squirmed and Russia flung him onto his bed. Alfred gave an oomph as his body crashed onto the bed, the impact sending his body nearly 2 feet off his mattress. Canada clung to Russia's arm like a koala, and Russia began to shake him off, but England quickly grabbed him and set him gently on his bed. Russia stood there, looking rather pleased, although the rest of the party was either scared or severely tickled. As England began to chew Russia out for a sweet humming noise, it arose from the hall. It started off as humming and broke into a soft song. In came Austria, singing lullabies to the boys. He had a very sweet voice and sung rather well. No one would ever have expected such a wonderful song would belong to him. America yawned, and Canada was ready to fall asleep. Soon, America nodded off, and Austria ended his beautiful tune. He pushed up his glasses and stood there quietly. "Wow, Austria, that was pretty good," said England. "They're fast asleep." Austria scowled. "Oh, shut up! I only did that so you morons would cease your bickering. You all ought to be spanked." An awkward silence fell upon the room after he finished speaking. "Now, why don't we continue this meeting?" said Austria, finally breaking the silence. England reached the door and turned to face the boys who were fast asleep. "Good night, you guys. Sweet dreams." Arthur turned off the lights and turned the door closed, heading back to the dining hall, but not before he made another cup of tea. Oh hey, thanks for watching the video. Hope you like it. If you want me to do any more Hetalia fanfic readouts, just let me know in the comments. So, I guess I'll see you later. Don't forget to subscribe.